In this video, we will be discussing the human heart thoroughly. The human heart is a fascinating and complex organ, responsible for pumping blood throughout the body. It is a muscular, hollow, and cone-shaped organ, about the size of a fist. It is located in the chest cavity and is enclosed in a double membranous sac, the pericardial cavity, called pericardium, containing the pericardial fluid. Pericardium protects the heart, prevents it from overextension. The wall of the heart is composed of 3 layers: epicardium, myocardium and endocardium. Epicardium is the outermost layer, a thin layer of connective tissue. Myocardium is the middle layer, made of cardiac muscle cells that contract to pump blood. Endocardium is the innermost layer, a thin layer of epithelial tissue that lines the heart's chambers and valves. The myocardium of the heart is made up of special type of muscles, the cardiac muscles. These muscles contain myofibrils, and myofilaments of myosin and actin. Their arrangement is similar to those in skeletal muscle fibers, and their mechanism of contraction is essentially the same, except that they are branched cells, in which the successive cells are separated by junctions called intercalated discs. There are 4 chambers of the heart, 2 upper thin-walled atria, and 2 lower thick-walled ventricles. Human heart functions as a double pump, and is responsible for pulmonary and systemic circulation. There's a complete separation of deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood in the heart. The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood via venae cavae from the body. The blood is passed on to right ventricle through tricuspid valve, called so because it has 3 flaps. When right ventricle contracts, the blood is passed to pulmonary trunk through pulmonary valve, which carries blood via left and right pulmonary arteries to the lungs. At the base of the pulmonary trunk, semilunar valves are present. After oxygenation in lungs, the blood is brought by pulmonary veins to the left atrium, which passes this blood via mitral or bicuspid valve, called so because has 2 flaps, to the left ventricle. When the left ventricle contracts, it pushes the blood through aortic valve to aorta and then to all parts of the body except lungs. At the base of aorta, semilunar valves are also present. The valves of the heart control the direction of flow of blood. The wall of left ventricle is thicker, about 3 times, than that of the right ventricle. This is because the ventricles have a greater workload than the atria, as they pump blood to the entire body, including the brain, muscles, and organs. These are the valves of the heart which control the smooth flow of blood throughout the blood circulation process. This is the tricuspid valve, called so because it has 3 flaps. These flaps are attached with fibrous cords called chordae tendineae, to the papillary muscles, which are the extensions of the wall of the right ventricle. Here is the mitral valve or bicuspid valve. It contains 2 flaps and is responsible for the regulation of blood flow from the left ventricle to the aorta. It also ensures one-way blood flow, preventing backflow into the ventricle. This is the pulmonary valve and is present between the right ventricle and pulmonary artery. It regulates blood flow from the right ventricle to the lungs. It also ensures one-way blood flow, preventing backflow into the ventricle. This is the aortic valve and is present between the left ventricle and aorta. It regulates blood flow from the left ventricle to the aorta. It also ensures one-way blood flow, preventing backflow into the ventricle. At the base of aorta, first pair of arteries, the coronary arteries, arise and supply blood to the heart. The aorta forms an arch, and before descending down gives 3 branches supplying blood to head, arms and shoulders. The aorta descends down in the chest cavity. It gives many small branches to the chest wall and then passes down to the abdominal region. Here it gives branches, which supply blood to different parts of alimentary canal, kidneys and the lower abdomen. The aorta bifurcates into iliac arteries, each of which leads to supply blood to each legs. The blood from the upper part of the body is collected by different veins, which join to form superior vena cava, which pass its blood to the right atrium. Two iliac veins are formed by veins which collect blood from legs, and unite to form inferior vena cava. It receives renal vein from each kidney, and hepatic vein from the liver, before it enters the right atrium. So, the heart's primary function is to pump blood throughout the body, regulating blood pressure and cardiac output while supplying oxygen and nutrients to tissues. The heart beats approximately 100,000 times per day, pumping 2,000 gallons of blood daily. Its electrical conduction system regulates heartbeat, while coronary arteries supply blood to the heart itself. With its non-stop operation, the heart is essential for overall health, making cardiac health and disease prevention crucial.